What is up, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo, and I wanted to make this quick video. I actually had a longer form video recorded and ready, and it's actually already uploaded, and it's going to be released tomorrow talking about this, but I had to take a couple of minutes just to drop this video. People need to stop with this 30 to 35 snap rule being a bad thing. It's not, okay? Let me start by saying that I love the players that are on the Jets right now. I love the depth that we have. I love the players that we have on that defensive line. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't, because I do. I really, really like these players, and I really, really like the potential and what they're bringing to this team. Now, that being said, can anybody tell me why Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, and Jonathan Franklin Myers have earned the right to take more than 60% of the snaps? I talk about this in my other video, which on average, league average, the snap count that a defense tends to see is about 60 to 65 snaps per game. So if a player is playing 35 snaps a game, out of 60, brings us right into that 55-60% range. Now, what player on our defensive line has stood out so much that they can take snaps away from other players on that rotation? There's not one. I love Jonathan Franklin Myers and the contract that we gave him, but he's bumping back on the inside to his natural position. And while he was a stud for the team, and while he did the thing, he didn't outshine so much that he can't lose his job to Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas was a former third overall pick, and maybe he can come in and he can play well. Quinnen Williams, as much as I like him and I want to re-sign him, didn't play out of this world good to where if you take him off of the field for unimportant first downs and second downs on the opposing team's side of the ball to rest him, so make sure that on those key downs he's fully healthy and ready to go. He hasn't earned the right to be able to say, no, I deserve 80 to 90% of the snaps. Carl Lawson was looking great, but he's coming off of an Achilles injury. Of course you're going to put a guy on coming off of a huge injury on a pitch count. There's not a single player on this defensive line that has stepped up in such a way for anybody to be able to say, yeah, these guys deserve to get 70, 80% of the snaps. There's not one person on the defense. Quinnen Williams, I want to bring him back, but there was conversation about the Jets possibly not taking his fifth-year option, which was crazy to me. You get the guy's fifth-year option, of course, and you re-sign him because he's a great person to have on the team, and he is a stud on the middle of the line. But he's not Aaron Donald. He's not anybody who's going to, yes, he does command the double team, but he's not breaking through those double teams regularly enough for anyone to say, oh my gosh, we need to have him on. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, and Jonathan Franklin Myers were the three names that I keep seeing come up on they should have more than 80% of the snaps. Carl Lawson being hurt and coming back of injury does not take away the fact that Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff, Michael Clemens, Jacob Martin, Vinny Curry, that those guys shouldn't get those snaps because Carl Lawson has shown us in our system that he can be that good. Jermaine Johnson is coming in as a rookie. He should be on a pitch count. Quinnen Williams and JFM have not shown to me enough that the gap between those two and Solomon Thomas is that big. As much as I wasn't the biggest fan of Sheldon Rankins last year, why is it that Q, who didn't have a super productive year last year, gets an excuse for, he didn't have the help, but Rankins doesn't? Rankins had relatively productive years up until before last year. Everybody had a bad year on the Jets last year. We were incredibly hurt. It was a new defensive scheme. And Sheldon Rankins is a former first-round pick. Guys, I understand the whole there's not very many teams in the NFL doing this. What does Jeff Ulbrich and Robert Saleh know that the rest of the league doesn't know? What they know is their defensive guys and the production that they can get out of their defensive guys. No other coaching staff has this group of men playing on the defensive line. Until one of those guys earns the right to say, you know what, I need these extra snaps, I don't feel okay giving it to them. Quinnen Williams and Jonathan Franklin Myers, while they have been great for the team, haven't been so great that Solomon Thomas doesn't deserve snaps. And I believe in Solomon Thomas. Carl Lawson and JJ coming in are legit talents. But I haven't seen a single snap of them in Gotham Green to say that they deserve more snaps than Jacob Martin, who was a stud for Houston last year. Or Vinny Curry, who was supposed to be this rotational pass rusher specialist before he got hurt for the year. Bryce Huff came in late in the year really well. So again, before we start crucifying this team for what they were doing and all of this whatnot, let's have these players earn the right to get these snaps. Let's calm down. We haven't seen a single game yet. They were 32nd last year, but they also didn't have half as many pieces as they do now. The guys that the Jets brought in last year to fill the roles of players that we lost last year, like just straight up lost to free agency, were all lost to injury. Carl Lawson and Vinny Curry were supposed to be our 1 and 2 edge rushers last year. We didn't have either of them. So let's calm this stuff down and let's just wait to see them on the field. They can't get any worse than 32nd. So let's see what this is. If week 4 or 5 come around and we're on this 35 snap count and it's not working and Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, Jonathan Franklin Myers, and Jermaine Johnson are annihilating everybody when they're on there, and then the fall off from Sheldon when you put Sheldon Rankins and Solomon Thomas and Bryce Huff and Jacob Martin is that steep, then we can have that conversation. But it's not. As of right now, they're all relatively on the same playing level. They all relatively have the same claim to those snaps as any of those guys. Let them fight for those snaps on game days the way that it should be. And let's have fresh legs. Let's go get after the passer. All of these guys are pass rushing specialists. That's what they do. They're not good in the run game outside of Jermaine Johnson. They're not really good at setting the edge. So let these guys go after it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.